We've helped thousands of people put body armor kits together. These are the 5 mistakes we see people make along the way.
Wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. Now this feels right.
Yeah.
Awesome. What do we got?
All right, guys, welcome back to Maverick Tactical. I'm Patrick.
I'm Doc.
And we're all about personal protection, tactical gear, and keeping you safe. And today we're here to talk about 5 most common mistakes people make when they're picking out their body armor kit.
Right, when we're working the gun shows, or even when we were at NRA, you get first time people exposed to body armor. They're excited about it. They try to understand their need for it. They make the commitment. They want to make a purchase. And then what do? Right? A lot of times people don't do the right thing. These are the 5 most common things that we see people do or hear people talk about that they do. It's not the best thing to do when you make an investment into body armor.
Gotcha. And these are in no particular order, right?
No particular order.
No particular order. We just thought of the 5 top things that we see most common. The number one thing is you buy it and put it in the closet.
Yeah, these things become dust collectors to a lot of people. They buy it, they are excited, they make the commitment, they get it home, and it goes into a closet. And that's probably the right number one, because that's about the worst thing that you could do with it, right? Because if you don't train with it, if you don't wear it, if you don't play with it,
right,
you don't know if it's actually going to be comfortable when you need to either go to the range or, God forbid, need to use it to defend yourself. And the last thing you need is when you're trying to fight an adversary, you end up fighting your equipment because you didn't play with it enough to figure out where it gets hot, where it squeezes, where it rubs, the things to make it comfortable, as tactical equipment is a different level of comfort than like some other stuff that you buy, right? But you can't put it in the closet. You can't forget about it and just hope that when the alarm goes off and I bought that body armor 2 years ago, now I need it, I'm gonna put it on, right? Things like what was happening recently all across the country with riots and social disturbances. People go into their equipment and now they don't know if it fits them. They don't know how to utilize it properly. So that's our number one, right? Is buying it and kind of putting it into the closet. And a good case use example that I use, that I've talked to some people about, is my radio on the side. This is the 3rd or 4th attachment point that I've had with the radio that's underneath my cummerbund, actually directly against my rib cage. I thought it would be more comfortable up front, right? But then as I was punching out with my weapon, my antenna's getting in the way, it's hitting my chin, it couldn't go there. I racked it on the back, right? And then I couldn't get to it if I needed to. It was bumping, I played with my helmet, it was bumping into my tactical helmet, and then that's just gonna roll my helmet forward, it's gonna change my line of sight, it's gonna change my depth perception and everything, and I couldn't have it there.
Right.
So then I racked it on the outside, on this side, which is my non-firing hand. I thought that made sense, but then I couldn't really, it was kind of okay there on the outside, but then I had a thought about racking it underneath, because when it was over here, I thought it could be a snag point or a hiccup point, right? So I needed to have a sleek, streamlined profile,
yes,
to be able to move efficiently and not have something get hung up.
Right.
So then I played with it on this side underneath. I played rubbing against doors. I played getting in and out of my vehicle. And this is where I found that it works best for me.
Right.
And that's for me. But it took 3 or 4 iterations of playing with the equipment, taking it on, putting it off, just for one radio mount to know where this particular radio is going to work best on my equipment. And I wouldn't have known that, and I wouldn't have been able to work through that if I would have just said, cool, I attach a radio, throw it in the closet, and never play with it again. And then if I need to use it, God forbid, I'm running out my door,
right,
and all of a sudden it gets hung up on my door jamb, and now I'm a yard sale, and now I'm a liability, because if I'm going out to protect myself or protect my family, I'm now a target because I'm squirreling around with my equipment.
Right. Awesome. Good explanation. I think that's a great explanation on number one. Number two, we talked about correct plates and the carrier. I think one of the things that's really nice about the fact that you can come to us directly,
yep,
is that you're able to feel it, try it on, what fits you best, what plate carrier is best for you.
Yep.
Which one's more comfortable for you, which plates are right for you. So that's number 2. What's the correct plate and carrier?
Right, and that's going to be different for everybody. I mean, we see some big bubbas come into the store and come to the gun shows, right? In their threat zone, right? You want to protect your heart and lungs, right? And the mediastinum. You want to protect the vital organ areas. And on some big dudes, that might not be a 10 by 14, although the 10 by 14 is the most common plate size.
The 10 by 12.
10 by 12,
Yep.
Thank you. The 10 by 12 might be the most common plate size, but if you're a bigger individual, that might not be the plate size that you need to protect your vital threat zone.
Yeah, you may need to bump up to the 11 by 14 plate size.
And then you've got to make sure that you've got the plate carrier, if you get a larger size, that will be able to house your plates in the pocket to fit you right.
Right. And I think of, a lot of people, they don't know a lot about body armor. So a lot of people go online, Google a little bit, they see level 4. I hear that a lot.
Right.
Level 4. Everybody knows level 4. Everybody probably knows that that's the highest level protection. And so I want the highest level of protection. That may not be what you need.
Right. I mean, given your scenario, and the videos that I've been on, I talk about understand your why.
Yeah.
Right. For a reason. If your biggest threat is you think that you got a Hatfield and McCoy situation, and your neighbor might be your biggest threat because you've had a bad relationship over the years, but he's only got a handgun.
Right.
Do you need rifle protection if your biggest threat is a handgun?
That's correct.
Right. Now, if you're going out doing other things, or if you're supporting contract operations or something else that might take you into those higher threat planes, then you might need to start looking at higher threat level protection. So understanding your why, the purpose behind it, making sure that you get the right size plate with the right protection for you to defeat the threat that you may face, those are important things to consider.
And that sort of goes back to my initial point, is that a lot of people just go online, see a set of level 4 with a combined plate carrier for, $400 or whatever. Oh yeah, I'll just grab that. And never trying it on, not really knowing how much it weighs or how it's going to feel. And then they get it, and then that's when it goes in the closet because it doesn't feel good. It's too heavy.
If they don't work through the hot spots, if they don't work through friction or rub points, if they don't work through your sling hanging up, making sure that your sling is able to function properly so you can present when you need to present. If you don't work through all of those, you're going to be in trouble if you actually have to rely on this.
And I did a video not too long ago about the steel plates. If you're young, if you're in the 20s, potentially 30s, I would say, and in good shape, maybe steel plates are a viable option for you. But in general, most people that buy steel plates, they're going to be back somewhere, whether it's with us or somebody else, wanting the lighter weight plates.
Yeah, if you're running your mid-50s like us, lived a life of adventure.
Yeah, we're not doing steel.
And you got some knees and backs that talk to you every night, steel plates are probably not going to be the choice that you want to go with.
True story. I had a guy call, maybe he might be listening to this video, but I had a guy call yesterday and asked if we had level 4 plates. And I said, heck no, we don't have level 4 steel plates. I can't imagine. We make level 3 steel plates, and they're heavy enough.
Yes, they are.
They're 8 pounds. And then once you put a spall guard, over it, you're at probably 9 pounds. So, oh my goodness, that's 18 pounds just for a front and back plate.
Yep.
You haven't added anything else. So weight is huge. Weight. That's a huge thing I see when we talk about the correct plate. And so correct plate meaning the correct ballistics.
Correct ballistics,
correct size, and correct weight. So a lot of things about plates that you need to know.
Yep, and that leads us into our number 3 point, is not overloading your plate carrier. And what I see a lot of times at gun ranges, or people that might not have been law enforcement or military that are trying to get into it, whether it's because they're doing airsoft or mil-sim or whatever, they've got 127 molly laces on here and they try to fill every single one of them up. If you've got a practical use for this, and you can put it on and stand up with it, how long can you stand up with it? I run in my body armor twice a week, So I know I can carry this with some speed over 4 to 5 miles, right? If I were to load this down, put the AMAP on the back, fully rack out a med kit on the back, adding another 10, 15 pounds to this, I don't know if I could actually carry it with speed if I have to move in haste for that period of time or that length of distance. So make sure that you understand your why. What do you need to put on, right? What equipment do you need with you? How many magazines do you need? Do you need a medical kit to drop down secondary different than your IFAC, right? What do you actually need? In my kind of frame of mind around that is, I need to carry the minimum of what I need, right? Because I need to be able to move.
Right.
I need to be able to function. I need to be able to maneuver.
So I had a guy that I actually talked to today as well, that he wanted 6 mags.
Right.
And I said, you know, man, that's just too much for me. I've got 3 here. I've got 1 on my belt, and I got 1 in my firearm. So I've got 5.
Right.
That's enough.
Yes.
For me, that's enough. I don't need 3 more. That's going to give me an additional, what, probably 6 pounds, 5 to 6 pounds.
Every magazine is 2 pounds.
Right. So 6 pounds plus the weight of the materials.
Right. I think a lot of where you get the guys that will come in wanting to rack 6, right? 6 and then 1 in the magazine. The standard battle load in the United States military, or at least in the Army, for me when I was in the Army, the standard battle load was 7 magazines. So we were trying to figure out how to rack 6 magazines plus 1 in the well, right? And I think that's where you get a lot of that. And that might be some people that are like, I know what I'm doing. I've done this before. I was in the military. But brother, are you still in the military, right? And are there better ways to rack out? I've seen some people in the tier 1, tier 2 community that they will rack 6, 8 magazines out, but they're single stack and they wrap around, right? But that's their why. They're an assaulter or they're a gunner in a rifle platoon,
right?
And they have that need. But the way that they're distributing the weight, so it's easier on their musculoskeletal frame, and the way that it allows them to maneuver, because I remember going to Iraq and going to Afghanistan. We got 3 double stack magazines and we looked like pregnant people because we just had stuff stacked out in front of our bodies and we couldn't maneuver as well. We were operating, I was a medic out of a 113. We were running out of Bradleys. And when you got a bunch of guys trying to exit a Bradley on target at the same time that have just too much equipment on, it's really not a good scene.
Wow.
And it you know, if you're actually working a mission, you want speed, surprise, and violence of action, right? You cut down speed if everyone's hung up at the door because you've just got a yard sale clung to you and everyone's moving around like a hobbit. So.
Gotcha. And yeah, and you know, I think this also segues into the next thing too, of everybody's setup is different.
Right.
Some people are gonna want 6 magazines. Some people want 3.
Right.
What are you trying to do with it? Where are you going with it? So the setup, that was number 4.
Right.
There's no perfect setup. Your setup's slightly different from mine.
Right.
Just because we tell you this is a great setup and this is the way I run mine, doesn't necessarily mean it's right for you. So in fact, comment below and tell us what your perfect setup is.
Right. And in that same school of thought of the perfect setup, the other thing that I hear and see people do is they will see military influencers or tier 1, tier 2 guys, and they want to model what they've got because why not? Those are superheroes.
They're
those
cool.
are super soldiers out there doing America's bidding for all of us at home, right? But their setup might not be right for you. They've got their setup specifically for them, for their purpose in their stack, whether they're a breacher, whether they're an assaulter, they've got a different mission set. So just trying to model somebody because they were in Team 6 or DevGru or in one of the teams doesn't necessarily make that the right setup for you.
Right, and I love to see people and the guys come in to the store or at shows that we go to that are using this kit, whether it's through police department or military, you know, different people that are using it a lot to see how they utilize the different places that things go. What can you do? I love to see that because that helps me kind of think through too, like what works for me? Oh, that's a pretty cool idea. So it's good to see different people. There's good YouTubers that have different ideas. And
I recently just changed up my gun belt and how I have everything racked up on my gun belt because my mission set is potentially going to change next year as I look at competing in the tactical games. Instead of needing just a training belt to go to the range with, I need my setup and I need to train with it to get proficient with it. That needs to be set up differently because my mission set is changing. Instead of just being a gun instructor or going to the range to maintain proficiency, I'm now looking at doing competition level stuff, and that changes my layout. That changes where I want things.
One of the things that's going to change for me on my belt is when the dump pouch, Agilite dump pouch comes out.
Yep, absolutely.
That's going to change. I've got a dump pouch back here on my back right side. It's going to go over to my left side where that magazine is, that 5.56 magazine. That's where that's going to go.
Yeah, and I will likely make a very similar change to my belt, even though I've got it set up to train with now for what I'm specifically training for. I am waiting on that dump belt to come out because I already have a plan to incorporate that onto my gun belt. That'll make me probably a little bit faster and more efficient,
right,
through the different stages and through the different courses of fire. If I can actually get to compete next year.
Yeah, but finding your correct setup, what's right for you. The beauty is, with Agilite gear, they have a lot of options and a lot of different things, and it's hard to beat that pincer placard setup.
It is.
It really is. With the 3 mags and the 2 here and the admin pouch.
Yep.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right one for you.
No. And I'll be running a completely different set.
Well, and what's cool
in the games.
Yeah, you take this off, you got that placard set up.
Yep.
Run different placard if you want to.
Absolutely.
And there are other good placards out there that will fit on this plate carrier very well.
Yep.
If you may not be running you may be instead of the AR-15, maybe AR-10 or something different. So it's not going to be this exact setup. So know what's right for you.
Yes.
And then the 5th thing that we talked about was budget versus premium. And again, I think I made a comment earlier about people just go online. Hey, I got $400. What can I find? Oh, there's a couple. Oh, I know I want level 4s. A couple level 4s and a inexpensive plate carrier. That'll get me done. You really need to feel it, touch it, put it on, see what it feels like. Right?
Absolutely. And obviously, we're not encouraging people to go into debt for something like this. But think about, again, understand your why. Think about your practical application, what you want to use this for, how you want to train in it, and then maybe start with the carrier and good plates. And then as your budget allows, work on adding to it, right? Yeah. Build your baseline, build your platform or your foundation, and then build up from your foundation versus something that might be easy to get into now, and then you really get into it, and then it might not be made with the best nylon
fabrics,
the best fabrics, the stitching. Your stitching's giving, your fabric stretching, and now your plates are juggling around in there. They don't have good plate retention straps inside the plate pockets. So then in 4 or 5 months, if you're using it on a regular basis, now it's not working for you because you've kind of worn it out. Because like most things in life, you get what you pay for. And as you escalate up through the different price thresholds of plate carriers, tactical equipment, generally speaking, you get better quality. I wouldn't say that that is 100% a rule of thumb, but when you look at like Agilite, right, they put out a very quality product at a very good price point. Other systems and other companies out there have great gear at higher price points, some at the same price point. You can find something really cheap. You can even Amazon search a plate carrier. Right? If you're committed to the craft, if you're committed to training, honing these skills, and being prepared, you might want to think and save a little bit and make the right one-time investment.
Right.
You've got something you always say, what, try it once, buy it once?
Buy once, cry once.
Yeah.
Or buy nice or buy twice.
Yes.
So either one of those scenario sayings I've heard, and I use that a lot because it's true. You definitely encourage people that if you feel like for instance, the Agilite plate carrier K19 is the right one for you, the K0, buy that first.
Yep. Like
you said, you don't have to go online or go to a store or wherever and buy this whole kit with all the plates in it and, triple mag and, 6 mag carriers and side plates and all this, and spend a fortune up front.
Right.
You can do it piece by piece. So encourage you guys to, research the different plate carriers that are out there, and the different armor that is right for you. Hopefully you look at our videos, kind of see some of our plates and what we're stopping,
Right.
to know what the right plate for you is and what the right setup is. But then, like you said, as you're using it, right, going back to what we were talking about earlier, as you're using your kit, finding out what works best for you, then you can say, you know what, I think I need side plates, or I think I need to add a pouch for a radio, or
Right.
you can always add to that.
Yes, absolutely you can.
Yeah. So, well, that's our top 5, guys. If you guys have any other comments or think of any other things that you might want to add to our list, let us know down below. Like and subscribe to us. And thanks for tuning in with us. Got any final words, Doc?
Now, I always talk to people, understand and know your why, right? Make a thoughtful purchase, be a thinking shooter, know exactly what your purpose, what you're training for, what you're preparing for, and go about it smart.
Great. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.